Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wisdom Well Wednesdays. It is Healing the Lineage, working with your ancestors today. This is going to be a really good one because this is something that as an Akashic Records practitioner and coach, I'm finding more and more people having this come up for them. So this is why today's episode is happening, because it seems to be a thing going on for lots of people right now. So maybe this is you, maybe this is something you're interested in, or maybe it's something you've never thought of before, and this is going to encourage you to look into it a bit more. Have you ever felt the weight of your family's history on your shoulders? In a world where we often feel disconnected, what if I told you that understanding and healing your lineage can unlock profound personal growth and transformation? So in today's episode, we're going to be covering what ancestor work is and why it matters. So let's get on with today's episode. Okay, so what exactly is ancestor work and why should you do it? Pretty much, I think we can all agree that we all share blood and genes and things with our ancestors, with our biological parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, all of those people. Whether we know them or not, we have certain predispositions for things. We have certain mentalities, we have certain emotions. There's certain things that we can really trace back in our family tree. Now, what we want to do is, there are good things in our ancestor lines and there are some bad things in our ancestor lines, and everyone's going to have both. There's going to be different severities, and the thing is, we can pass down trauma within our family lineage. So you can think of this in a scientific way of like it kind of gets into your cells and into your genes, and it can get passed down in that way. But you can also think of it on more of a spiritual level, where it's literally the lessons being passed down throughout your family history. And lots of people right now in this day and age are kind of given these missions to bring an end to the toxic parts of their family lineage, to stand up and say no more, enough is enough, and to actually take the time to go back in throughout their lineage and send healing in whatever way they want to do. So there's many different ways to do that, and we will get into that in a minute. But it's very important to get that to stop with you, to get those bad things that are being passed down to stop with you, because then your children, your grandchildren, and so on and so forth, it just trickles down to them otherwise. So when you're putting a stop to it, it stops it from going through to your children and grandchildren. And you might be saying, well, I already have children, I already have grandchildren, I already have great grandchildren, like I've kind of screwed up a bit. No, I've done clients who already have grandchildren, children, all of this stuff, and they've actually found that it immediately null and voids and cleanses and clears for the generations after them. So you personally can sort out your generation and back, and it literally just then clears away everything for the generations that came after you. It's pretty amazing, pretty incredible. It's something definitely to look into, because as always, we can't go very deep in these episodes. But if you do have any questions, you want to reach out to me, please do. I'm very happy to talk to you about it. So it helps us understand identity and ourself when we know where we came from. And again, we could have good things, we could have bad things, but they all shape the lessons that we are given, the lessons that our parents were given, our grandparents were given, and how we and they decided to deal with them. And some people are not going to deal with them right, or not very well, I should say. And some are going to use it to empower themselves, to use it to change their stars, as it were. They're going to say, well, my family has always been poor or has always been a violent one or whatever negative thing you want to put in there. And then you could stand up and say, well, it's in my genes, it's in my genetics, it's in my family line. That's who I am. And they'll continue that toxic trait. Many people now, especially, are standing up and saying, no, I'm going to change this for my family. I'm going to go and allow abundance to come in. I'm going to go out and be kind and to show my children and my grandchildren and everybody around me like what love is and how kindness can help and how a hug can help rather than being told that you're a disappointment or whatever it is, right? So these are all huge things just for yourself. You can also go back, like I said, and heal your family lineage as well. You can do that through multiple different ways, and we will talk about that a bit later on. But there's so many different ways, spiritual ways that you can go back and sort of tell your ancestors, I get it, I understand why you did it, or let's release some of that fear or that grief or that anger. Let's release that, and you can help them release that, and then it cleanses the line. This of course helps with healing and growth for yourself, for your family line in general, past and future. It can also help you understand where you fit in and your belonging and your roots, right? And it's always nice to know the bigger picture, where you came from, whether you're anything like your family or not, whether you want to be or not. These people have all shaped who you have become and who you are and who you will become. So although they might not have been the most supportive, the most nicest or whatever, they are people that had to exist in some way or shape or form to help you be the person that you are today. You can also find out as well let's go into a more positive thing, about things that you have that are natural to you, like talents and creativity and sort of personality traits and things. And you can find out where that came from. Do you have a long line of that, or is it just down your mother's line or just down your father's line, or where do you get that from? Where does that magic come from for you? And that's all very, very interesting. Okay, so the ways that you can do it, obviously the reason that I'm doing this episode is from my work as an Akashic Records practitioner. And I have found many people right now for many different questions and not even coming in about anything family. We'll be going into their records. If you don't know what Akashic Records are, check out my other videos or just look it up. Very, very fascinating. It is for everybody. So they will go into their records maybe for a completely different question, and they're just suddenly turned around. They're suddenly shown this new thing about their family lineage, about their ancestors, about people that they know in their lineage. So people that they've met, like parents or grandparents, aunts, uncles, or this goes back even further, people they've never met, people they didn't know existed. Maybe this could maybe be thousands of years ago, and they find out that something happened, good or bad, that has shaped a certain thing. And then a lot of my clients, there was one, for example, that they were shown this umbilical cord that showed from the grandmother, great grandmother to grandmother to mother to them to their daughter and to their granddaughter. And this umbilical cord was very, very sort of gunky. It was sort of very dark. It was very oozy. It was kind of like slimy, and it wasn't nice to look at. And we did some work in the Akashic Records. We found out the reason why this was happening, why she didn't have a very good relationship with her daughter, for example. for no rhyme or reason. She just never had a good relationship with her daughter, and she found out this stemmed from her great-grandmother. And then we did some work with the great-grandmother, we did some understanding of it, we did some releasing, and we did some healing. And then we did healing of the umbilical cord. And it literally spread down all the way into her granddaughter. And the granddaughter's soul was extremely happy that she was now free of this toxic umbilical cord burden. So anyway, so you can do something like the Akashic Records, where you go into your very own library on another realm, and you can talk to your guides up there, and the guides will help you discover what the problems are and what needs any healing, and you can go back and help in any way that you can to cleanse, to heal your family line. Like I said, a lot of people are finding this right now. A lot of people are like the chosen one of their family line, the one that came here, especially with other stuff as well, but especially to be the one that breaks the pattern, to break the chain. So it's extremely fascinating. And it's people from different walks of life, people of different belief systems. So it's very, very interesting how they're all very, very different people with very different things that need to be healed within their lineage. You could also do things like hypnosis or meditations, things like that to connect with your family. There's even like shaman things that you could do. All very interesting. I would very much recommend that you look into doing something like that. You can do ancestral orders. It's literally a table with maybe photographs of your ancestors. Maybe you keep replenishing it with their favorite foods or favorite drink. Maybe you just do that on their birthday or the anniversary of their death or at Christmas time. Or a lot of people will put up these altars around Halloween, which is what's known as Samhain. Or in Mexico, it's like Day of the Dead kind of thing, where they have these altars to remember their ancestors, right? So you could leave like flowers, you could leave like candles burning, whatever it is that really connects you, and you could have that in a special place in your home, and you could just remember and honor your ancestors. Family storytelling is extremely important. If you still have, especially elders in your family that are still alive, go ask them for some stories. They're good or bad. Ask them for the stories. Ask them to tell you the good things that happen, the bad things that happen, the things that they remember their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents telling them. Get these stories, write them down, write down your own stories as well for the future generations. Like having these stories really allows people to connect with their ancestry, with their bloodline, and to understand where it is that they come from. Of course, you can also do genealogy. You can go and you can do your family tree. Where would you like to start? Which one seems the most interested? Which one do you feel the most connected to? Are you closer on your maternal grandmother's side, or are you more in your maternal father's side? Like, which one is more interesting to you? Which one do you feel more of a connection with? Which one do you look more like? Is there something about your father's great grandmother that interests you? Maybe follow her line. Have a little look. Look at your family crest if you have that, or your family motto. See what country they came from. Are they from a clan or a tribe, or from a special village that has some kind of folklore there? Like really get into how they lived and what their names were, and what they did for a living. Maybe you'll find someone that does the same thing that you do, or a similar thing, or they have maybe they were an artist and you just love art. What is it that connects you to these people, these strangers in history that are connected to you through blood and through spiritual lines? Doing meditation and visualization to connect with your ancestors is very, very good. you're going to think that you're making it up, like with the hypnosis and the Akashic Records. You're probably going to think that you're making it up. Just go with it, honestly. Um, Even if you're making it up, maybe it's your subconscious mind telling you something important, right? So maybe think of it along those lines if you're struggling to believe it's really true or that you're doing it right. If something's coming to you, take it in, whether it makes sense or not. Take it in, write it down, accept it, thank them, and then investigate it if you want to. See if what they've said in your meditation actually lines up to historical fact or something within your family history. If you want to go really deep, you can do things like rituals and ceremonies, especially, like I said, around special days like anniversaries of marriage, death, and birth, things like that. Now, this is always one that I say not to do unless you actually really want to do it. It's forgiveness practices. Now, you never need to forgive anybody. You are forgiving for yourself and not for the other person. So the other person, living or dead, does not need to know that you are forgiving them. So if you want to go along those lines, you can absolutely do some kind of forgiveness process or practice. Maybe like the Ho'oponopono stuff, if you know that. You can just go through and you can release any negativity from anyone in your family. Again, though, only do it if you actually do want to release that for yourself, and it's not to pardon the things that they did. It's not to say that what they did was acceptable to you or anything. It's to release it from your heart, to release that burden. So that's something that you are welcome to do. It's not something that I think is very necessary in a lot of cases. There are cases, though, where an ancestor has maybe believed that they have done something wrong, but you realize that they actually didn't do anything wrong, that they did it for, a good reason, and you can see that, and you can tell them then that they are forgiven and that you don't think ill of them or whatever. So that's a nice way of doing it. But forgiveness just for forgiveness sake, or because you feel that you have to, is never a good option. There are just so many different things, and I'm going over time, so let's just skip ahead. Yeah, so it's very, very important to do this work for, like I said, for yourself and for future generations, for because we're going into a special timeline now. We're going into a better time. And so this right now is very much the time and space to cleanse, to get rid of things personal to you, as well as to heal and cleanse things from the past, whether that is yourself or whether that is the ancestral line. It does seem in my work that it is extremely, extremely important to at least acknowledge that there is some kind of toxicity in your family and that you need to do something, even if you only do something small, something just to turn the tide a little bit, just to help that stagnant energy, get it to release and go. That makes sense, hopefully. And doing this kind of work, it releases your own burdens. It lifts you up spiritually. It helps you maybe connect better to your family. Or if you're not close to your current family on earth right now, maybe it connects you to your family from many generations back, where you feel more of a connection with them. Maybe you even do a past life regression thing where you find out that you keep getting born within this family tree, and you actually realize that you were many people within this lineage. So that could be kind of fascinating too. I've done that too with some people, and that's a really, really fascinating thing. And I've done stuff where it's connections, the connections that they have. One person, they had something where they were connected through they were showing like trees, how trees are connected underground, right? And that's how her lineage was connected. It was very, very beautiful. Okay, so that is it for today. Thank you so much. I really hope that was interesting. I hope that sparked an interest to go out and have a look or inquire with some relatives right now about your family history, about your lineage, or just to explore for yourself, like within meditation or Akashic Records or hypnosis or past life regression, something like that. Please do like and share and hit the notifications and all of that stuff. Very, very, very much appreciate those of you that are following this and are enjoying the videos. Next week we have Journaling for Healing, a guide to mental clarity and spiritual awareness. This one's actually another one that's been requested. This was requested actually on one of the lives a few weeks back. It's going to be a basic 101 about journaling. So if you don't know what journaling is, or if you've always been interested in doing journaling but never quite started, didn't know where to start, or if you're new to journaling, even if you're not new to journaling but you just want to see some different ways of doing it, pop along next week, bring your journal if you like. It'll be a really, really nice one because we're going to be explaining the focus on how journaling can really focus on spiritual and mental and emotional health, really. So it's very, very good practice to do on a regular basis. So do a pop in next week. From the wisdom well, keep shining, continue learning, and stay curious. Until next Wednesday.